Hello, and welcome back to Shenmue. This is day 2 on Rios' adventure to avenge his father. And right at the start it brings up our book, so we can see here that we're looking for the 3 blades. Which the 3 blades, as we learned in the previous episode, are Chinese people who have come to Japan and taken up 3 particular professions: the tailor, the cook, and the barber. So it's just giving us 3 different examples of 3 blades that are in the town. You have Manpuku-ken Ramen, Itoi-san at the Mary's Patches and Embroidery, and Maeda-san. So we'll have to go and talk to them and see who can give us some information on the supposed Chinese people who came and killed our father. But before we do that, there's some things we need to do around the house. So let me just get in position here, and yeah, so we're gonna look in the drawers, and yeah, right here is the tape player. So that was what I was missing whenever I was trying to play those cassette tapes earlier. I need to pick up this tape player and have it in my inventory so that I can listen to the music. And I'll note that the notebooks in Rio's desk say Master System on them. That's a nice little nod to Sega's, well, first American game system. And in the drawer below it, we see there's a picture of Rio's friends. You can see Nozomi and also 2 others. The one we met, he was working on his motorcycle. I can't recall his name. I'm not sure if we've met the other one. We probably have, but I can't think of either of their names at the moment. And then we'll look at the last drawer, and yeah, there's a cassette. So this is... okay, this is Shenhua's theme. And in this game, like I said before, they call her Xiahua. I assume that, well, she doesn't appear actually in Shenmue 1. She appears in the sort of intro cutscene before you start the game, but she doesn't actually appear in any part of Shenmue 1. So I assume that the translators just didn't know exactly what her name was going to be, since she wasn't really a character yet. So they called her Xiahua, when in the second game her name is Shenhua. But let's go ahead and actually, before we go into Fuku-san's, let's go ahead and listen to some of those tapes. So you can see this is the tape player. You can look around, you can spin it around, check it out. Sega made cassette player. And it actually has some product number right there. I wonder what those mean. But you can see it actually has a battery gauge. I assume if you play this enough, it'll run out of batteries and you'll need to replace them. I've never actually done that, so I've never seen it happen because I've never listened to enough music, but I guess it can. And then you need to buy some batteries to refill it. But if we just press A, it'll bring up the music. So we'll go ahead and listen to what we have right now. First we'll start with Shenhua's theme. Alright, and then the next one we have is, it says A Tree, but the name of the song is actually Antiquity Tree. This is a song that you will hear in one of the clubs in Dobuita. I'm sure we'll go in there at some point during the game. And then finally we have Shenmue, which is one of the theme songs for the game. I don't know that it's the main theme song for the game, but one of the prominent songs that you'll hear throughout the game. Alright, and we won't listen to these whole songs. I've listened to these songs a lot. I listen to them in my car when I'm driving, but we won't do that now. And so here, this was the move scroll that we couldn't pick up whenever Fuku-san was standing or sitting in front of it. So we can pick it up now. And it's actually funny, on the wall right there, you can see that Fuku-san apparently has some, I don't know, I can't read, of course, the Japanese, but maybe he's got some moves written on the wall, which is kind of interesting. And so this is the Shadowreeper. This is a move that we can master if we practice it. And we'll look in this drawer. I'm not sure that there's anything in here. Nope, there isn't. But he does have some of those Master System notebooks that we saw before. And before, what's in this room? So this is just maybe, I don't know. Maybe this is Ine-san's room. But, oh, there's another photograph. This probably is Ine-san's room because there's this photograph of the whole family. Ryo, Fuku-san, Iwao, and Ine-san standing in front of the dojo. See if we can, if there's anything written. No, nothing written on the back. These are apparently Sega film. Because in this world, Sega makes pretty much all the products. Alright, so just some beauty supplies in there. I don't think there would be anything in any of those dressers. But this is the room with the Sega Saturn. Now, one more stop before we head out. We'll go into the kitchen. Oh, Ine-san's walking out.
Ine-san.
Ryo-san, I don't wish to meddle, but please don't do anything reckless.
Okay, thanks. See you later, Ine-san.
Yes.
Ine-san's always asking us to not get involved in the whole ordeal with our father, but obviously Rio's pretty determined. And honestly, if my father were killed in front of me by a mysterious Chinese cartel, I'd probably want to figure it out too. Interestingly, it doesn't seem like the police are really on the case, so it's really up to this 18-year-old. Ine-san is just walking right in front of me. Come on. Get out of the way. All I'm doing is trying to get into this fridge. Alright, so last time I was trying to find the milk that was in the fridge, because I knew...
I suppose this could be food for that kitten.
Exactly. I knew that there was milk in here at some point, and apparently
I'll take it to the kitten.
It would only trigger after we had met the kitten. So we got the milk. Hopefully Ine-san wasn't planning to use that for anything, because we're just gonna steal it and give it to a stray kitten. And then here's some food. Oh, here's the cutscene. Man, I was searching for it so much. Well, enjoy.
Ryo, while you're still sleeping in bed, Farmers are working hard in the fields, carefully picking carrots one by one. So how can you waste them like that?
Okay, I'll eat them.
Good. That's my boy.
Alright, I always really liked that cutscene, so I wanted to show it to you. So this door, in case you were wondering, this door is not able to open. I don't know what's on the other side of it. I wonder if, because the Shenmue community is so crazy about this game, I wonder if anyone's looked into the code and seen if maybe there was some unused data that this room would have been opened. But it looks like it maybe goes outside because there's some slippers right there, but who knows? We'll never know. And just for completeness' sake, we'll walk right over here, and I'll show you the Hazuki family restroom. It's very small, very basic. So you've got your toilet and no sink, no shower. If you look really high, there is a light on the ceiling, although I can't quite see it from my vantage point right here. But yeah, so I don't know what the Hazukis do. There it is, for a shower. But you know, in a lot of games, you walk through people's houses and they don't have a bathroom at all. So at least Sega was able to get halfway there. There's a restroom, but it's not complete. And you can also take every picture that's in this house off the walls. Almost none of them have anything behind. Oh, jeez, Ine-san. Almost none of them have anything behind them, but it's just it's part of Yu Suzuki's initiative with the type of game he was creating. He called it free, full reactive eyes entertainment, and he was planning on it to be a new genre, which really he did create a new genre. He sort of pioneered the open world, but he called it free. And his concept was that you could interact with everything, you could go anywhere, which wasn't, again, entirely true, but it was more true than in any other game that had ever been created up to that point. And so, you know, he basically succeeded in his attempt. But there's one more thing we'll do before we leave the house. So there's a phone here, and if we go into our notebook and go to the first page, hold on, you can see there are phone numbers. So you can call the police, you can call the fire, weather, and number assistance. And then on the next page you have our number, you have Naoyuki Ito, and Nozomi. So you can call all these people and have brief conversations with them. And especially Nozomi, you can have some interesting interactions. So if you'll indulge me for a second, I'm just going to go a little old school and write down Nozomi's number so that we can give her a call. So it's 0468225508. So, alright. Now, let's go ahead and call Nozomi. Now, this is 1986. I wasn't alive in 1986, but probably in Japan, rotary phones were still a common thing. So, they're pretty cumbersome to use. And I guess Yu Suzuki wanted the authenticity of the inconvenience of a rotary phone. And I'll tell you, they are incredibly inconvenient, because this game doesn't remember the numbers. So if you, for example, mess up one digit, or if you mess up a prompt and they hang up on you, you'll have to type in this entire phone number again, and it's incredibly time consuming. If there was just a little keypad you could just click around in, it would be much quicker. But game is all about realism, so I guess sometimes realism is good and sometimes it's less good. But here we go, we're calling Nozomi.
Hello?
Nozomi,
Oh, Ryo, what's up?
got a minute?
Sure.
Your parents?
Yeah, they're in Vancouver.
Don't you miss them?
I did it first, but I'm living with my grandmother. I have friends now,
And...
well, I like it here.
Oh.
Oh, Ryo, what did you call to talk about?
No reason. Later.
Okay, see ya.
Alright, well that was a weird conversation, but it still revealed a little bit of information about the characters. You learned, I think I already mentioned, but you learned that Nozomi is from Canada, her parents live in Canada. She's actually living with her grandmother here in Japan. And so that's just an interesting detail about the characters that you wouldn't... most people probably didn't look in these, look in the book and see these numbers and actually call them. We're gonna call her a couple more times. We'll get some other little tidbits of information about the characters. But the other thing that I wanted to do, I've never done this before, so I just want to call the weather and see what happens, because this game was really one of the main features that was advertised about it was the magic weather that couldn't change, and I think it actually got realistic weather data from 1986, so it was pretty revolutionary at the time. Nowadays it's really nothing, but at the time they were really proud of the weather that could change and be different each day, and all the environments would change in accordance with that. So we're gonna call the weather forecast, and that's just 177. So let's go ahead and do that and see what it says. I've actually, like I said, I've never called them, so this will be interesting for me too.
A weather report from Kanagawa Meteorological Observatory, Kanagawa Prefecture, Eastern Region. Tomorrow, rain later, clear skies predicted.
So that was kind of cool. It was giving us the forecast for tomorrow, and revealed that Rio is apparently living in the
Enix-san is always there for me.
Prefecture, which I did not previously know. So what we just picked up right there was our allowance for the day. Ine-san for the next few days will be leaving us money each day, about 500 yen, that we can use for whatever. Probably buying capsule toys and food for the kitten. And let's just head over this way.
Fuku-san. Practicing the move named Pit Blow.
For my first 3 years here, Sensei had me practice only the basics.
One must know the fundamentals to reveal the essence, as my father used to say.
Yes, but Sensei is no longer here to teach me. He's gone, and I still have so many bad habits. Say, Ryo-san! Would you mind showing me the right way to do it?
Alright, of course I will, Fuku-san.
Sure, why not?
Okay, I'll go first. Take a look at my form, and let me know what's wrong. As I take one step forward, I tense my arm, then strike. Ouch! Oh,
Fuku-san,
I'm okay. Rios-san, can you show me how to do it right?
sure, but I'm not as good as father was.
Alright, so we can see that Fuku-san was apparently still injured from the day of the incident. Remember, he was ejected from the dojo, so apparently he still has some injuries. But this is the first introduction to the combat system in the game. This isn't a battle, but this is the first introduction to the battle system. So what we're doing is we're showing Fuku-san how to complete a move. He gave us the clues on how to do it. He said you first step forward while tensing your arm. So as you can see, we have leg move, throw move, hand move, and guard. So, you can reason in your mind that you'll want to move forward and press X at the same time to complete this move. And so that's the way that the game gives you the instructions without explicitly saying press forward and X. Let's go ahead and show him how to do this.
That's great! Your moves are so smooth and powerful. Completely different from mine.
My father and I trained for a long time.
Sensei always told me that this was the most important basic technique. So, would you like to practice some more?
No, I think we have that down pretty well.
No, that's enough.
Really? Well, if you ever feel like sparring, just ask. I'll be here.
Thanks, Fuku-san.
Alright, so we learned the hand move Pit Blow. And I don't know if you heard it, I don't know if the microphone picked it up, but after I completed that move, the VMU beeped. It had a little icon of a VMU in the corner if you caught that. So once you do one of those sequences where you learn a new move, the VMU will flash the button combination that you used in order to complete that move. And it's one of the subtle features that the VMU allowed the Dreamcast to do. They were nice. It wasn't overbearing, you didn't really need it, but it allowed them to display, this information without cluttering the actual screen. And the VMU is a pretty neat little device. I'll probably do a feature on it sometime. But it is used for different reasons, like the most famous one being calling plays in football games. But for me, the most useful purpose for it, other than its ability to do mini games separately from the Dreamcast, is actually in Resident Evil. And oh, here's a cutscene. I'll be quiet.
Get ready, Yasuo! Okay, Gota! Oops! Ah! No, watch out! I'm sorry. Are you okay?
Yeah, but be careful when playing in the road.
Okay. Wait up, Yasuo! Wait for me!
So as I was saying, Resident Evil Code Veronica, the VMU would actually display your health and how many remaining bullets you had, which was incredibly helpful. But this cutscene that just occurred, it is a pretty well publicized cutscene. I think it was the one that Sega used to show off the QTEs, kind of an easy little QTE people could grasp. It was just one button, just pressed A. And, QTE was, nowadays, it's everywhere. Unfortunately, it's everywhere. Because a lot of games overuse it or use it as a crutch to have these cinematic moments. But in Shenmue, back in the year 2000, QTE was brand new. There really weren't wasn't anything like it at the time. Of course, there were QTEs in the past. Dragon's Lair in the arcade was basically a giant QTE. But as far as like on-screen display of a button that you have to press quickly for a cinematic event, Shenmue innovated in that regard, and I feel like they did a really good job, and they really kind of moderated its use and made it integral to the story enough that when they come up, you're ready and you're prepared for one, and it's not frustrating like the other ones. And of course, that one you could fail and it wouldn't matter. You would just continue on. Some of them, if you fail, you die. And in that case, I will try to fail, and at least I'll tell you I'm trying to fail, so that you can see, you know, the success cutscene and the failure cutscene, you know, just because sometimes those are entertaining.
Are you cold? I bet you remember me, don't you?
And so let's just feed this kitten the milk that we got.
Here, drink up. It's good. You can drink it all. I'll bring you more later.
Alright, so we fed the kitten. Let me just check one thing. So the Shadowreeper...
It appears to be a leg move.
Yeah, it's a leg move, so we had to open it up so that we could master it. I'm not sure exactly how to use it yet. It looks like, you kick and thrust? I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to do some training one of these days and try to figure it out. But let's head to Sakuragaoka